All right, in this video, we are going to continue talking about optimization, but specifically, we're going to talk about optimizing and determining the optimal amount of an activity to do. Now, when I say the optimal amount of an activity to do, what are these activities? Well, from a household or consumer or buyer or person standpoint, all those terms are interchangeable. We mean, how much of something are they going to consume? How much tennis, how long are they going to play tennis for? How many dishes are they going to clean before they pass it on to somebody else in the household to clean dishes? Questions like those can be answered with this optimization strategy. Additionally, on the other side of the market, on the firm, the supply side of the market, the businesses side of the market, they have to make that a similar decision as to, well, how much of a good are we going to produce? Given, market prices, how much quantity of a good should we produce? Firms make this decision all the time. So this next part of the optimization is really important because not only does it help us make the most efficient decisions by choosing an optimal allocation, but it also is the foundation of us understanding markets and how the supply and demand curves are derived based off of this marginal analysis. So that's what we're going to discuss next, is this idea of marginal analysis, or using marginal analysis to optimize. So if we go to our slideshow, a couple pieces that we have to take a look at are, again, these ideas of marginal benefit and marginal cost. And we'll start with marginal benefit. And in understanding the marginal benefit, we have to first understand this idea of diminishing returns, which leads to diminishing marginal utility. And so when we talk about diminishing returns, really what I mean is a relationship where if we have, let's say, we have a graph, and we're going to draw a lot of graphs in this class. And when we draw these graphs, a lot of the time, quantity, Q's for quantity, is going to be represented on the x-axis, okay? Over here, usually we have price. For now, we're just going to look at it as like happiness, and specifically, we'll measure happiness in dollars. Not that dollars is a true measure of happiness, but it's quantifiable, so it makes things easier to understand. So when we talk about diminishing returns, what we're talking about is a relationship where as you increase the amount of something that you consume, as quantity goes up, let's say from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, that the benefit, the happiness you get out of something, the total happiness that you get out of doing that activity or consuming a good from a consumer's standpoint, is going up, but it's going up at a slower rate. So we get a relationship that looks like this, where it's in these diminishing returns we can define as increasing at a decreasing rate. And I'll show you what this means a little more extensively when we go through the table to represent this. So all this is saying is that as we consume more of a good, as we do more of an activity, generally speaking, yes, the benefit is still increasing. Notice this is an upward sloping curve. This is still, a positive relationship. But the increases in happiness from each additional unit are going to get smaller. So let's actually unpackage that a little bit here. So if we take a look at this next slide, let me get rid of this right here. If we take a look at this, the students' preferences in our example, we're talking about pizza, in our students' preferences are specified such that she experiences this diminishing returns in pizza, meaning as she eats more slices of pizza, yes, her total happiness, her total benefit of consuming each one of those pieces of pizza it goes up, or better said is the total quantity or total benefit of consuming those pieces of pizza increases overall. But as we can see from this table here, the marginal benefit is going to decrease. So if we look at this total benefit, we see that for the first slice, the total benefit in terms of dollars is $8 of total benefit. For the second slice, there's a total of $16 of benefit, meaning when the total benefit from consuming 2 slices of pizza is equal to $16. If she consumes another slice of pizza, her total benefit increases to $22, and then 26 and 28 for the 4th and 5th slices of pizza. Now, the key to remember here is that this total benefit is the total amount of happiness that the student receives from consuming pizza. So we are looking at this graph here. This table, and I'll try to specify here. This table here between quantity of pizza and the total benefit is represented essentially in this graph. Now, I didn't put the values in, but the shape of the total benefit curve represented here is the shape that would take place using the values of total benefit in this column. So the reason I'm going over this total benefit and this diminishing returns idea is, yes, diminishing returns are an important relationship to understand, but really it's to understand the shape of a marginal benefit curve. And typically, marginal benefit curves decrease or have a decreasing relationship, a negative relationship with the amount of something that we consume. I'll show you in a graph in a second here, but this is the idea that diminishing returns lead to this diminishing marginal utility. So what's going to happen is, if you have your quantity on your x-axis, similar to we have in our total curve, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different possibilities. Well, our marginal benefit curve is going to be shaped downward like this. And this idea, this downward sloping marginal benefit curve, is the fundamental idea behind a downward sloping demand curve, which we'll talk about next week. Okay. So to summarize, this is what we're really focused on, is this marginal benefit, is deriving this marginal benefit curve. It's typically, again, a negative relationship, meaning that marginal benefit decreases as the quantity of something, as the quantity of something increases. So as quantity increases, marginal benefit is going to decrease.